My next guest wants you to think of an area in your life where you feel stuck. Somewhere you feel stuck. Maybe it's something you haven't completed, but you've started dozens of times. Maybe it's something that you know is incredibly important, yet you keep putting it off. Studio 5 relationship contributor Dr. Matt Townsend wants you to stop holding yourself back. He said that with a few shifts in your thinking and doing, you can get unstuck.
Yes.
Hey, Matt.
How are you?
Unstick us.
I am stuck. I'm trying to write a book.
Oh.
I've actually already outlined. For years, I've got 3 books in me and I can't get them out.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm carrying them like babies, and I just can't deliver them.
Isn't that funny? I sat
stuck.
here thinking as I was, sharing that invitation to think of where you're stuck. I also thought of a book, but a memory book. I'm so behind on memory books.
Yeah.
It means a lot to me to be the chief memory keeper in my home.
Really? That's neat. That's a neat goal.
That's the stickiness I'm feeling.
Well, and so what's interesting about anybody that's stuck, there's a reason you're stuck. Like, you're capable of doing it.
Yes.
I've done a book before,
Yes.
but there's something stopping me. And so I've been trying to figure out how to get myself unstuck. And I found this book called The Confidence Gap by a guy named Russ Harris. And in it, he teaches this concept of DARE. DARE are 4 steps that we do to get ourselves unstuck.
Okay.
And each one is kind of a principle, but it's psychologically, it's one of the things that we might be hooked up on. And we're just going to try to unhook it so that really cool masterpiece can flow through.
I'm intrigued. What's
Are you
the
ready?
D? What's the D?
The D stands for diffuse from unhealthy beliefs. A lot of us have fused to ideas. Like, I have fused to an idea that no one will want to read my book. And once I've kind of fused to that idea, or another idea is, it's hard. I know how hard a book is. It's really hard to write. And I also know another thought is, it's scary. What if it fails? What if it fails? So I have these thoughts that are actually probably the anchor. They're the things that are majorly clogging my creativity. And so if I don't learn to diffuse it and get rid of the thought, and so I can't get rid of a thought I don't recognize I'm having. So once I recognize the thought, my goal is now to diffuse from it and just let it be. It is hard. It's hard.
Yeah.
And I've done it before. And people will read it. I know they will, because people are asking for it.
But that's a good point. It's not to say the thought isn't untrue.
It's real.
It's real. It could be true, but we're just going to acknowledge it.
And I'm not going to let all my energy fuse to it and hang on to the idea. I'm just going to let that idea be. I could even look for examples of the counter argument to it. It's hard, and I've done it before. And we just did it in a pretty simple, basic way. So just let the idea be, but you might want to ask yourself, what ideas are keeping you from actually going forward with the goal?
We're going to diffuse, then we're going to accept.
Accept the discomfort. Pretty much every time you've ever taken that step forward in life, it was probably uncomfortable. Going away to college was uncomfortable. Going on that mission was uncomfortable. Writing the book is uncomfortable. We can try to fight against it. Remember, our body's constantly trying to actually either maximize pleasure or minimize pain. I can always keep trying to avoid it, or I can just get used to the fact this is going to be uncomfortable. And it's going to be uncomfortable every day I do it. And then after I've started writing, it will get comfortable again. And then the next day it'll be uncomfortable again. And that's how we run the marathon, and that's how we have the children, and that's how we raise the children, and that's how we do everything we've ever done in our life, is just accept discomfort is part of life. Don't run from it.
I've almost come to kind of have a begrudging feeling toward this next word. What? Goals. Goal setting has a place in this conversation.
I agree. The R of DARE is to make the goal realistic. If whatever you're doing isn't doable, we start to hate goals.
Yeah.
So a lot of us like I say, I'm going to write a chapter this week. That's a pretty gnarly goal. That's a really big goal.
Did you just say gnarly?
Gnarly, yeah. It's from my old skateboarding days and my surfing days. It's a gnarly goal. So once I just recognize that it's not realistic to write a chapter of this book, but it is realistic to write 400 words. So I'm just going to write 400 words a day. That's pretty realistic.
Because on the back end of that, I mean, if you're able to check off a goal, there's a momentum that comes from that, right? So we want to be able to achieve, we want to push ourselves, but probably more so we want to actually check the box.
And feel the great benefit of moving forward on a goal that's doable. The minute a goal becomes doable, we push it, and then we can actually start increasing the reality of that goal by pushing ourselves a little bit more, Once we have realistic goals, and we're willing to do the hard work because it's hard, and we're going to actually get rid of the beliefs, then the last thing we got to work on is make sure it's tied to your values. Embrace your values. Anything that I'm trying to do that I'm not getting momentum on, I'm probably not emotionally tied into the value of it. I like you might love the idea of being the record keeper, the historian of the family, but emotionally you're not feeling it in that moment yet. So if we can go back to what will the impact be in 30 years when you have got all of the memories stored? Or when I've written the books, what will the emotional value be when I am signing an autograph in one of the books for somebody that, and I know it's changed their life. Once I can connect to that value will be my driver forever.
I love it.
Right? So we then just slowly uncover it. We create the dare and we make it happen.
I love that it's a formula too that applies to anything. I mean, here we have two different scenarios, whatever it is that you're stuck on, this can help you
every
kind
time.
of
That's
get it up and out.
Generally when it's that simple, it seems too simple, but it's principled. When you follow the principles will work.
I'm so glad word is spreading about your 10-day marriage makeover.
Yes, people need help in their marriages, apparently. And so we've created this little program, basically, and you just go in, I help you identify where you're struggling in what I call the starve spiral, and we teach you how to reverse the spiral. It's just a 10-day email program. If you go to matttownsend.com, you can get started on it and then turn that marriage around, get the love flowing again.
matttownsend.com in a gnarly way.
In a gnarly, totally gnarly way.
You're helping so many people, Matt. Thanks you so much for sharing your gifts with us.